Yes, hello, good day everyone. We are the group Socrates and we will discuss in regards to the paradigm shift in the history. But first of all, we will discuss what this paradigm shift means. So, paradigm it is a set of beliefs that defines from the ways in which we think and we act, while shift means it is a move or the cost to move from one place to another. So, therefore, paradigm shift it is a fundamental change in the basic concepts and experimental practices of a scientific discipline. It was discovered by the physicist and philosopher Thomas Kuhn.
Let's start on the year 1500s to 1550 with the astronomy. On this time, people wanted to learn and to understand the position of the Earth and the structure of the solar system. There was an existing paradigm wherein it tells that the Earth was the center of the solar system. But it was later debunked by the Polish astronomer Nicholas Copernicus on his new paradigm, which is the Sun was the center of the solar system. It is the correct and the precise structure of the solar system. On the year 1550 to 1600 physics, people are trying to understand the heavenly bodies. When we say heavenly bodies, it is anything that can be found in the galaxy, just like the planets and stars. There is an existing paradigm wherein they believe that heavenly bodies consist of ethereal substance. But Galileo Galilei introduced a new paradigm wherein, as you can see, there is a drawing of different phases of the moon that Galileo Galilei drew himself with the use of the telescope that he invented.
And now let's proceed from the year 600s to 650s, which is inclined from the astronomy. What it is about from the understanding planetary motions by Johannes Kepler. While in the existing paradigm, it is all about the circular orbits of the planets. It was discovered by the Copernicus that the that the observation of the planets revolve around the sun, and it was Kepler who correctly defined about the orbits, which is the new paradigm, which is elliptical orbits of the planet. While in the age of 27, Kepler became the assistant of a wealthy astronomer, which is Tycho Brahe, who asked him to define the orbit of the Mars. And that way, using this observation, Kepler found out that the orbits of the planet followed by the three laws. And now, from that way, for many years, he struggled from the mixed Brahe's observation and the motions of the Mars match up with a circular orbit. And that is the discovery from a new paradigm, which is the elliptical orbits of the planet. And now let's proceed from the another era in 1650s to 700s, which is it is about the physics and the understanding of interaction of the matter, which is the famous Isaac Newton, a physicist in 1642 to 1727, which is the existing paradigm is all about the forces nature of are unique. He was it was existing that time that the forces of the nature is unique, and that way he discovered that the universe physical laws of the nature, which is it in science it's engaged through the enterprises by trying to describe some subset of phenomena in our world by amazing the empirical data of developing logical consistent theoretical models. And also, from the clockwork universe, it is the Newtonian paradigm with the materialistic and atomistic in the nature.
Now, the continuation of our report, let's talk about the 1700s to 1750, which talk about the biology, and 1750 to 1800s, it talks about the chemistry. Now, the early part of that 1700s, a Swedish biologist, Carl Linnaeus, began to talk for the plants and animals. At the various explorer, including himself, in his Lapland costume here, were collecting from the far reaches of the world, bringing back to the Europe, and he took the multiple names of organism, and he came up with a systematic approach and uniform method of a naming. which we still use, and then in the later part of that century, the chemist. Now, a French chemist, Anton Lavoisier, debunk the existing paradigm that phlogiston, some magical compound, was causing candles to burn, and he came up a conservation matter, that was neither created nor destroyed, but just changed form, and of course showed oxygen and other component of that of the atmosphere.
Mabuhay, good day. I am Romidel B. Corbo and I am discussing the fundamental concept of paradigm shift of history. In the year of 18 to 1850th century, Charles Lyell demonstrated the power of known natural causes in explaining the Earth's history. In the principle of geology, he argued that the formations of Earth crust took place through countless small changes occurring over a vast period of time. As we can see, it is understanding the formations of Earth. In the geological theory, we have seen that there is an existing paradigm in a new paradigm, the catastrophe versus the uniformitarianism. Both of these theories acknowledge that the Earth's landscape was formed and shaped by natural events over geologic time. But what are the differences between of these two? Uniformitarianism and catastrophism are two geographical theories developed regarding geological features. The difference between of these two is how each theory views and describes the Earth's geological history. The theory of catastrophism is the idea that the Earth's surface and landscape can largely be explained by sudden and violent events such as earthquakes, floods, and volcanic eruptions, while uniformitarianism is the Earth's surface, such as mountain ranges, are shaped by long-term processes such as weathering, soil erosion, and plate tectonics and volcanism. Okay, in the year of 1850 to 19th century, the evolution. The evolution is the change in the characteristic of a species over several generations and relies on the process of natural selection. The theory of evolution is based on the idea that all species are related and gradually change over time. According to the theory of evolutions by natural selections of Charles Darwin, that is published in 1859, Darwin describes of how organisms evolve over generation through inheritance of physical and behavioral traits.
In the early part of 20th century, a German-born physicist, Albert Einstein, took the existing paradigm, energy and mass are immutable, replaced it with a new paradigm, the famous equation E is equals to mc squared, which is the energy and mass are interchangeable. This equation is an Einstein theory that special relatively and express the fact that the mass and energy are the same physical entity and can be changed into each another. Note that Einstein is the Time magazine's man of the century because of the theory role activity that really changed fundamentally the way we view the world. And then, at the latter part of 20th century, the biological revolution of the description of the structure of DNA from the existing paradigm of chromosomes, proteins, basis of inheritance, replaced it with a new paradigm by the replicating DNA basis of inheritance so that the British scientist Francis Crick and American molecular biologist James Watson at Cambridge University, with the help of Russell and Franklin, provide the X-ray of crystallography published in 1953. Each chromosome is made up of DNA tightly coiled many times around proteins is called histone proteins that support its structure. Chromosomes are not visible in the cell's nucleus, not even under a microscope when the cells is not dividing. DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid in the hereditary material in humans and almost all organisms, nearly every cell in a personal body has the same DNA.
Finally, we're now at the 2000 to 2050, or the present or the future age, which is the very reason why we're looking back, or this look for then coming up for the sustainability and revolutions. And the existing paradigm under the sustainability is the irreversible environmental degradation, and the new paradigm is the environmental solutions possible. But what is sustainability? Sustainability, it is the ability to survive, to exist, or to develop without depleting the natural resources or the future. I'm going to give you a two real life example. The number one is the bringing reusable grocery bags to the store rather than taking plastic bags home. Number two, or another example, is the refilling a reusable water bottle instead of purchasing single-use bottled water. So, through those example, if we're going to make those examples as our habit or as our responsibility, we can contribute for betterment, we can be, or we can contribute for the sustainable development, and we cannot, or we won't be a problem in our natural resources or for the future. And so this is really what we need to focus on, which is the societal need to figure how gonna live and how gonna survive in this age. Okay, so paradigm shift occurs when the scientific discovery has something to do with the society, or it is where those discoveries is being connected, is being applied, or is being appreciated by the society. These revolutions are the revolutions that we think based on earlier societal needs and the state. Where we are in the universe is, or where we are in the universe, what is our origin, or what we're composed of. Again, we are at the sustainability age, where we people have to know how to deal in our everyday living, just to survive. So we come to know that we in the present age is the product of, or underwent through different stages, underwent through processes just to be here now, as the result or as the fruit of science and the technology. So that ends our discussion today. Thank you so much for listening.